Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of the Day-to-Day podcast. And yeah,
Welcome.
we are here today with a few more exciting topics, few recent
Yep,
topics, and then I
more
think
gaming topics.
yeah, well, very much close to gaming. And then
Yeah,
there are some other topics that we
yeah,
can
and
relate it with.
you know that both of us are super competitive, high rank gamers, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. We've been in
we
the
so yeah,
we've been like in the gaming industry for like quite some time now.
yeah, about
It's very competitive.
35 years now.
A lot of money there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how we bought all this.
Yes.
I wish I could say that someday, hopefully.
Yeah, right? Like to have like that much
Yeah,
earning
good.
from gaming. Yeah.
Yeah, people do that. I
People
mean,
do
that
it. People do it. Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah. Who would have thought, right? When you were small playing games, you could be able
yeah.
to earn a living out of it. Yeah.
If we knew it, then we would have put a bit more time into it.
Exactly. We were like, okay. We just sort of believed our parents halfway. We're like, okay, this doing this won't, get us anywhere and all of that. And we were
Yeah.
like, okay,
But
maybe
I-
we'll just do it
but
for fun.
but I think like we were in the wrong place to do competitive gaming. Like in an with the internet connections that we have there, it's
Yeah, no, yeah, it
no.
sucks, right?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, what's gone is gone. We'll go ahead with
What we
this
have.
time. Yes. So today, there's I think the biggest topic. Actually, Chandika was bringing up this topic for this
Mhm.
discussion today. Is about Activision, Blizzard, King, and Microsoft. Yeah,
Yep,
take it over.
that's a pretty big deal. I don't know. It didn't. I felt like it would been a bigger deal, but I don't know. It's just sort of went under the radar. I'm not sure why.
Mm,
I mean, not exactly. I mean, it was quite it was well covered by all of these guys, but it wasn't mainstream news because I think there was a lot of other things happening at the time. Um, but you know. This acquisition, it was very painful for Microsoft to get access to these
mm,
guys, right? So for a few things, for a
mm.
few reasons. So I think there was an issue with the FD, not the FDA. What am I talking about? I can't remember the Federal Trade FTC, right?
FTC.
Trade, yeah, had an issue with it. If they acquire Activision, it'll have an issue on competitiveness because Activision owns one of the biggest games out there, that is
Mm,
Call of Duty, right? So that's one of the biggest
yeah.
franchises, and they keep putting out a game every year, and people play it and all of that stuff. And for those who don't know, they also own King, which is like a mobile game developer, and they have games like Candy Crush and things like that.
Yes.
Not exactly sure what else is there, but I
Yeah.
mean they do have quite a bit of portfolio
Mm,
of
mm,
games there as well,
yeah.
and I think King is based in Sweden, if I'm not mistaken,
King is based in Sweden. Yeah, yeah.
right? And yeah, and recently Microsoft acquired Bethesda
Mm,
game studios as well. And,
yeah.
recently being, not
Mm,
about, I think about a few years, like 2 or 3 years ago,
yeah.
and they came up with this new title for their console called Starfield, which was
Mm,
sort of like the Fallout in space sort of thing, something that No Man's Sky was supposed to
mm,
be. I mean, and No Man's Sky is now better. Now I don't know whether you've heard of No Man's Sky. It's like a sort of
yeah,
go
yeah,
anywhere game, right? You
yeah,
can just
yeah.
sort of explore everywhere. Um, and there was a certain concerns behind that. These guys are acquiring studios and sort of making games exclusive
Mm.
to their consoles, right?
Xbox, yeah.
And that was the sole argument behind that. And when the FTC was okay, the UK regulators, did a thing, and
Jumped in.
I don't know how it was solved. I didn't read into
But
it
it
that
took a
much, but
long time, right? Like
it
it's
took a
been the
long time.
discussion has been going at least more than 1 year. I remember
Yeah,
this being the
definitely more than
this.
1 year. It's been
Yeah.
definitely more than 1 year. But so yeah, this happened right now. Sony has been weirdly quiet about it. I'm not sure what will happen, but because I mean, Sony's main point was that if Microsoft get it, they're gonna be like uh
Platform exclusive. Like
yeah,
that's
they're gonna make
gonna
Call of Duty platform exclusive, and that's gonna hurt sales for the
yeah,
PlayStations a lot, right?
yeah.
Because that's some game that all people play, and uh, generally. people don't tend to be that what do you say sort of brand loyal, I would say,
Mm.
right? So losing that game would be
Yeah.
I'm talking about generic. I'm not talking about fanboys, right? I'm not talking about fanboys. I'm talking about like people who want to play a game and they're like, okay, if it's just coming on Xbox, I'm gonna buy an Xbox. Like, there are
Yeah.
people like
No,
that.
I mean, again, like just to counter that argument, like it's I don't again, this is my I'm not a Sony fanboy, I would say. Like I just like not the
I
PlayStation.
am.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but I think again, like my main complaint with moving from Sony to Xbox is the controller, that it's very different. Like
Oh yeah,
the layout
that's
is
true.
different,
That's true.
and then
That's true.
so I think for someone maybe it's not that difficult for early gamers, like if you are used to playing games in different devices. But
So
yeah,
it looks a bit like this one, right?
yes, yes,
With the joysticks like that.
yes, 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 yes.
And
I'm
then
very comfortable
there's
with the
that.
PlayStation layout. It's just
Yeah, it's I mean yeah, it's what I'm used to as well. But I mean I've played games on this and it's not too bad.
okay.
So this is by the way, this is not an Xbox controller. This is like
Yeah.
MSI sort of clone
Mm,
sort of thing.
mm.
But it's sort of similar layout, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it's not
Mm,
too bad. I think once you get used to it, it should be all right.
mm,
But I
mm.
also had trouble getting used to this one because every time it says press X, I would press. Sorry, X is
Ah,
this, right? I will press A,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
But X
because
is
that's
actually this one, right? So it
mm,
can be a bit confusing, but yeah.
mm, mm.
So it was not too bad.
But like I don't know whether I read it perfectly. In one of the articles it mentioned they made some sort of deals concessions, especially in the
Yeah, yeah, they did,
EU.
they did. So Sony, they promised, until about 3 years, it's guaranteed that the Call of Duty will come on PlayStation as well.
Mm, mm,
Um, which is, I mean, which is good, but
mm,
now,
mm,
on that, right? So now Sony doesn't have like a first party shooter anymore, right? They
mm.
did a while back. So
What
um
was the first party shooter?
they had quite so during PlayStation 3 they had quite a few. So they had
Mm,
the Resistance franchise, which I'm a
mm.
fan of. And they had the Killzone franchise as well,
I played
right?
any.
Those two were like the major ones. But I mean they weren't like Call of Duty, they were sort of a bit different. They were sort of more
Mm,
like, what Wolfenstein is trying
mm,
to do and things like that. Wolfenstein, I don't know how you say
mm,
it, but uh, those I mean there was like a Killzone 4 on PlayStation 4. I mean that's one of
mm,
the that was one I think that was one of the launch titles. I can't remember properly.
mm.
But Resistance is like nowhere to be seen. It's just it's
Yeah,
gone dark. So they might try and revive one of those for the new
yeah,
generation to compete. I don't think they can compete with Call of Duty. I
yeah. It's a
think you
classic,
should
right?
yeah you shouldn't do that. But what I think they should do is try to get their own unique twist on a first person shooter so that
Mm,
you have a first party thing and
yeah. But
that will
when it
be
comes
sort
to
of a
Call of
selling point.
Duty,
Mm.
I don't know, maybe like I haven't been playing Call of Duty recently. The last time I played Call of Duty was
Yeah, neither have
I was Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1. That's like PlayStation 3 time. I think that's when
Yeah, well, yeah, that's PlayStation
yeah,
3. Yeah.
that's when I actually last played Call of Duty, like as like spending days with it, kind of.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, yes.
but from what I understood, they had a little bit of a downwards curve when it comes to the games. After that, was
Hmm.
it like this advanced warfare,
Yeah,
future
and
weapons, and then kind
Future
of.
and some stuff. So it's like this, right? So it got a bit stale,
Mm,
right? Because it was the same stuff over and over again. And that's why they did the reboot of,
mm,
they just went back to, Modern Warfare, right? They dropped the titles of, Advanced Warfare and I can't
mm.
remember this later ones. I can't
They
remember.
still do Black Ops,
There's one
right?
in
They still do
space as
Black
well.
Ops.
Yeah, that's the thing. So they reset the titles, right? So what they did was they did a remake as well, some time back. Not a remake, so they did like a remastered version of it.
Mm,
And this one wasn't. You can't really call it a remake because a remake is essentially the same game, but sort of made in like the new graphics. But this is sort of like a relaunch of of the
mm,
series. Um, Modern Warfare and Modern
mm,
Warfare 2 came out, and Modern Warfare 3 is coming out in a few. few weeks.
Okay. So this
So
the new Modern Warfare, is it the same as the
the story is
so
different.
the story
Story
is
is
different?
different. Story is
Yeah.
different. And but the characters are. I mean, there are few returning characters from the old
Mm,
Modern Warfare series, and there are a
mm,
few new characters as well. And graphically, it's like totally different.
mm,
And it's sort of so they had the two series, so Black Ops and Modern Warfare, right? So those were
mm,
two were developed by two different studios,
mm.
Treyarch and I can't remember the other guy's name. Um,
Yeah, I'm
was
looking at
was who
this
developed
Treyarch, the new ones. It's
Black Ops.
Treyarch,
It's
Infinity
Treyarch, right?
Ward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Infinity Ward, yeah.
Infinity Ward, and then what is this Sledgehammer Games? But like that's
Oh,
yeah.
right. Sledgehammer Games. Yeah, those three. I can't remember which ones develop
Mm,
which, but those three are the sort of studios that are involved in this. Um, but it's still they're just sort of recycling the stuff that they had, sort of just so that they can bank on the nostalgia of uh,
mm,
all the characters
mm, mm,
been in the series before. But I'm not sure. So now the main trend is not really the single player campaign, it's sort of the multiplayer stuff, the sort of
yeah.
what are those games called? I can't remember now.
Like
Uh, yeah. Anyways,
MMORPG. It's not
no, no,
MMORPG.
that's a totally different thing. This is like
Yeah.
the sort of battle royale games. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So stuff like Fortnite and all of that. And Warzone is
Mm,
what's that right now for Call of Duty. And what happens is when you download this, so the Warzone is like a free download, you can get it. But
mm,
when you download the single player thing, you get a certain skins and points and stuff like that. You
okay.
can buy stuff, weapon packs and stuff. But yeah, uh,
Mm,
it's like a weird thing. It's not really about the single player campaign anymore. There are a lot
mm.
of multiplayer options, and there's Warzone
Because
separately, and yeah, all of that.
because in the
So
initial Call of Duty games, I think it was all about the single player campaign in the beginning,
oh
at
yeah, in
least.
the beginning, and then the multiplayer. So multiplayer
Yeah.
at that time they had like team deathmatch, all
Yeah.
of that stuff, right?
Capture
Capture the
the
flag,
flag. Yeah.
all that stuff, right?
But they don't
And
have those. Do they have those things right now, or is it just like
yes,
this?
that
Yeah.
comes with the main game.
Yeah.
And there's a connect to Warzone somehow. I'm not sure how it
Yeah.
works because I haven't played it recently, but that's
Yeah.
I just know the concept of it. That's all.
Mm-mm.
Um, because yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I've played it on mobile. That's about it. But that was
Yeah.
like a thing I did during COVID because I didn't have anything
Yeah.
to do.
I think that the Call of Duty mobile game is pretty much close to the same concept, right? The Warzone concept.
Yes,
Like
yes,
it's the
yes.
like we have a map, players join in, and then you kind of
Yeah, kill
uh
yourself until you're the only one
yeah,
left.
yeah. It's like PUBG and then all that. It's the same Fortnite. Yeah.
It's the same formula, right?
Yeah.
It's just that you have characters like Captain Price,
Mm.
Ghost,
I just remember Ghost.
and
I can't
Sword.
remember most of the other characters. Ah, so yes, yeah.
Yes.
I think I
So
played all three Modern Warfare
yeah,
like
I think I
stories
have as
in the
well.
big
I haven't
the classic
the
ones.
older ones,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Yes. I played the Modern Warfare, all three of them.
yeah,
I haven't played uh the I've played I think one Black Ops 2 or 1, I
yeah.
can't remember which
Mm.
one.
Like the whole campaign, or just
The campaign, yeah,
yeah.
the whole campaign I played it.
I remember like I think Call of Duty, the first Modern Warfare game. I finished it once,
Oh,
and then I wanted to do like advanced difficulty, so I put it to difficulty maximum, and I tried to go through extremely difficult. Like I think I
yeah,
got through a couple of maps,
yeah,
but
it's very
no,
hard.
couldn't go through because it's like
Yeah,
two shots you're dead, and then it's.
yeah.
But this is like long time ago, but
Uh,
uh,
So
and
I played Call of Duty 3. That was like long time. That was
yeah.
like a launch title on the PS3.
Mm.
But yeah.
And then I think have you probably done this as well? Like you set up this sort of LAN parties with
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, Yeah.
The
Even that,
the
that's fun.
that's good times. Yeah.
Yeah, good
I
times.
remember like we used to just take all our like bulk, PCs to some friend's home,
Uh, uh,
and then we set up this whole
so
like
you took the PC, not no. Oh wow, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Like we took PCs and then like this big 17-inch CRT
CRT.
monitors.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
And then yeah,
that's the time when we didn't have laptops. I mean, we did have laptops, but you couldn't really game on them, right?
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
that was the fun
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. So
So yeah, huge deal, huge deal.
mm,
Acquisition. Let's see. Just interesting to know what happens.
yeah,
Going forward. So apparently some of the titles, the old titles, the Call of Duty titles, will appear on Game Pass as well. So
yeah.
time to buy next.
That's good. That's good. Yeah,
So yeah, let's see, let's see. Good for the gamers at least. So
yeah. Good
some
for
are
the
winning.
games.
Uh, let's see what happens. So yeah, and
Continuing on the
on the
gaming
game,
topics, you had the one more.
on yeah, on the same in the same week, PlayStation did respond and they released the PlayStation Slim.
Yes, that was also very like here you go. Like there's
Here
no
you go. Yeah,
big.
okay. Oh
There's
wait, hey, dude, like PlayStation. But I mean, to be fair, like there have a lot of rumors going around that they're gonna announce a Slim in
yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
because they
yeah.
have price drops and all of that
Mm-mm.
stuff. So
Yeah.
it was sort of people didn't really it wasn't a surprise for them at least.
No. Mm-mm.
And so they've done a few changes with the pricing and all of that, right? So earlier the digital version and the disc version had like about $100 gap, I think,
Mm-mm.
between them, but now it's just $50,
Mm-mm.
um, which is weird.
Yeah.
And
But like yeah, go.
yeah, so the design is sort of different. So like the current PS5 has like just two panels on the side, but this one has like four panels.
Mm,
And the cool part is you can, if you buy a digital version and if you want to say later get a disc version, it's just a swap, right? You can just swap it out,
mm,
that component and put in like a disc.
mm.
You're good to go. You can't really do that with the PS5 we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
right now. So that's pretty cool.
Mm.
And the pricing is just $50 difference. So I mean, let's
Is,
see.
is, is
Pick
is
it up.
the initial pricing different from how the initial pricing for the normal PlayStation was? Like, is it more expensive than the normal PlayStation, like the
No,
old
no, no.
PlayStation?
No. It's the same. That's the thing. It's the same price if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
five
But is there a
$500.
performance gap?
No
No.
performance. No. I mean, at least so in the sense, so that'll probably be a test that you'll have to do. So, but they are saying the performance is the same, right? Which
Yeah.
I doubt it'll be too different because if you watch Austin Evans,
Mm,
his videos, he's done like a cycle, he's done like a teardown of all the PS5s across different, can't really call it generations, but sort of different iterations. So the first one, the launch PS5, um, the components inside were pretty big, right? So they took up a lot of space, and the components are slightly different. And then I think in 2021 they launched a new one, right?
mm,
I mean, they didn't launch it, but this like a new production run sort of. So they had like optimized a certain set of things, and your power was optimized and things like that. Apparently, that was a bit of a failure because it drew a lot of power than usual sometimes on
mm,
some samples. So there was a concern there. And then current one, which is called like a C chassis PlayStation, and there's like a whole model number behind it. That has like significantly smaller components, but I mean it's still the same. Like how it's arranged and all of that
mm,
is
mm,
different, but it's the performance is still the same, right? It doesn't really do performance, but the interesting part is it draws slightly less power, and as a as a flip side of that, it might be cooler, so you might be able to run it for longer. I don't know.
mm.
That might be a possibility, but there are things like that as well. So we'll probably have to get someone to test it and see
Yeah.
how it performs and if there's actually a difference and things like that.
Have you ever got a like high temperature warning or something on the PlayStation?
No, no,
No,
no.
right? No.
I
Like I
didn't.
don't know like what model I have. Like yours is quite new, so you probably
Yeah.
have the sort of updated version.
Hmm.
I mine is I assume it was released last year, so it's probably also the updated version. Like I know because
Should
I
be good
yeah
because that
uh,
version came in 2022 towards the end.
yeah
So then I should think should be fine. So there's like a model. I can't remember the model number by
mm,
heart. I just maybe I can send it to you afterwards.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's sort of a thing, right?
Be-
And yeah.
Because I always had this question about when PlayStation released, like the initial PlayStation, and they release a slim model, which is
Mhm.
considerably smaller than. I mean, this
Yeah.
one is not exactly that small.
Mm, so it's supposed to volume is reduced by 30% apparently. So
It's
I'm
just
I'm not. It's just like streamer is gone down or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see, right?
yeah
When it comes out, it doesn't look that different to me. Unless like you maybe have to sort of have it side by
yeah.
side.
But in the
And
previous models, has it been the same? Like the PlayStation 4, 4 Slim, 3, 3 Slim.
yes,
Like has there been a performance?
no performance has
No.
stayed the same.
Mm,
So even in the PS3 version, so PS3 had like two slim versions. So there was like a slim and a super slim, right?
mm,
Which I'm not sure why they did the super slim for. But yeah, so they did that, and in
mm,
the PS4 also they did the slim and they did the pro at the same time for the
mm.
PS4, right?
Yeah.
The slim was like much slimmer and it was like just like a very small box and it was pretty good. The pro was like much fatter and it that had more power, right?
Mm,
And you could play some games at like 4K 30, I think, not 60. I don't think you could do 4K 30, 60, but 4K 30 definitely.
mm,
And there was so that's when they started launching all of these remasters and stuff.
mm.
They did Last of Us remaster, right, from the PS3 version, and that
Yeah.
was on this console, I think.
Mm,
Was it Last of Us? Yeah, it was Last of Us. Yeah, and it came for the Pro specifically so that you could play. I mean, you could play it on a normal PS4 as well at that time, but the if you had the Pro, you could just sort of activate this thing called like high fidelity mode or something like that,
mm,
and you got better graphics and stuff.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
that was the thing. And that's what sort of translated into the PS5 as well, where you have certain modes where you can play at 60 FPS with like decent graphics uh, and uh, and maybe performance mode is more frame rates where you have like
Mm,
60 FPS and all of that.
mm.
So,
Okay. Because I think my brother had like a place. I mean, he still has a PS4 Slim. Like I was not sure like what exact version. So now when I search for it,
mhm.
yeah, it's the Slim version. Yeah. So that's the second release of the PlayStation 4, and the Pro is the third release, right?
Yeah,
It
I
was.
think the Slim and the Pro were released together, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm,
if I remember correctly. Uh, but yeah, so it was like a sort of parallel release sort of
okay.
thing, so that and
Yeah.
again aimed at the holidays, so that people buy it for Christmas and all of that.
Mm. Yeah.
That's
It's
what
the
they
same.
usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and
But
it
yeah.
comes out like after so PS5 was released 2020, right? If I'm not, yeah, was it
Yeah.
2019? Yeah, 2020, right? And then after about 3 years, they release a slim version. That's
Yeah.
generally the cycle, and then they keep it on for another 4 years, and then they call it like a generation. Then
Yeah,
that's it.
and then the PS6
Yeah.
is yeah,
I mean, let's see what happens there
but that's
because
4 more years ahead. So yeah,
yeah,
we'll
4 years ahead. So
yeah.
let's see.
And then they also I think did an announcement about cloud gaming. I think it was already there,
Yeah, it was
but
already there. It was some time back that they did the announcement. We didn't really cover it at that time because it was not
mm,
really that much of a big news because people were really expecting the PSP,
mm,
right? So the PSP is considered one of the most underrated consoles because it did like proper it had these very good graphics, right, for a
mm.
portable console because I think the
I haven't
consoles that
played.
it was yeah it had pretty good graphics, man. Like you could play like PS2 games on it, right? like proper
Mm-hmm.
like GTA Vice City and stuff like that
Yeah.
on it. And it was pretty good. I mean, the graphics were decent, right? It was like
Yeah.
playing a
So
PS2.
it
Yeah.
was the first ever handheld console, right? There's a lot of them right now, but it was
Um, well,
was that before?
yeah, so you could like console. So it's like this, right? So probably, so the first handhelds were like, all the Game Boys and
Yeah, the
all of that stuff.
Nintendo. Yeah,
But
yeah,
those
yeah.
weren't like graphically intense like what
True, true,
the
true, true, true.
PlayStation was, right?
True, true.
So some Game Boy fanboys might be like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, 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 yeah.
so
True, true,
we don't
true,
want to
true.
get cancelled. So
Yeah.
let's avoid that.
Mm,
But that was the proper like a proper sort of console in your hands, right? If you will. At least the first attempt was so PSP was that, and there were a few generations of that PSP 1000, 2000, and all that, and then came the PS Vita, which was like a
mm,
proper thing, and it had like essentially PS3 graphics
mm,
almost, right? And it was pretty oh dude, like it had like good graphics and it had good games as well, but
mm,
Sony did a very bad job of marketing it, right?
mm,
And they had like placements in their movies and stuff. That's what they usually do, right? They have
mm.
PlayStation and all of that, but it didn't really move much units. Like I think it was a 3DS that was competing with the
Okay.
PSP at that time, or 3D or the Nintendo. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that sold like way more
Mm,
copies than the PS Vita or the PlayStation Portable.
mm,
Uh, and it's sad, right? It's because there were some really good games on it.
mm.
And it was like a proper, I mean, it was much better than you could even compare it to the Nintendo Switch now, right? The graphics were pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that it went away and we haven't really had a replacement for it.
Mm,
But maybe I don't know. With the whole PlayStation, so just to give you some context, PlayStation Portal is sort of like um uh, a
it's
portal
not
essentially.
it's not
It's a
exactly
portal to your
cloud gaming. It's
PS5.
not exactly
Yeah,
cloud gaming. Yeah.
it's not cloud
This.
gaming. It's more like you if you want a PS4 or PS5, you have what's called remote play, where if you have your your console connected to the internet, you can sort of stream your game from your console to like a screen. You could play it on a PC or another TV somewhere else, as long as you have remote play enabled and you know all of that setup. So it's sort of like a similar thing with PlayStation Portal, where if your wife's using the TV and you want to play a game, you can have that.
Which is
That
which
was
is more common.
that was a specific use case, right? Apparently that they've used to sort of create it.
Oh,
And
really?
yes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's apparent, like they haven't really officially said it, but
I mean,
yeah.
it's more common than people think it is.
Yeah, it yes, yeah, both of us can probably relate to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of one of the things because I mean, there are a lot of this wasn't this is actually meant for already people who own PlayStations, and it's quite cheap, right? For
Oh,
the
shit.
specs, it's like $200 or something,
Okay.
right? Which is quite cheap, right? Yeah, cheap.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's basically a screen and a controller together
exactly,
with
exactly.
some maybe Wi-Fi or like you can.
Yeah.
Does it work on mobile network? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Mm.
The only contentious point that I have with that is you can't connect any old Bluetooth headphones to it.
Ah, okay. So it
You
has
need to have like
the
a PlayStation
PlayStation.
Portal specific. So you can't even. I don't think you can even connect the in-zone ones that Sony
Like
has.
if you have like what you call the like
Dongle.
we no like
Ah,
these normal headsets you can connect through a cable, right, to
yeah, I
the
think
play
cable
to
is
the
fine. You can do it
cable is
through a
fine.
cable. I
Yeah.
think. I'm not sure. Let me just check that. It wouldn't say on its official site, but yeah, I think you can connect through a cable, but
Mm,
not any other way. So
mm,
and you need like PlayStation specific, Portal specific headphones to work with
mm.
it, which is weird. I don't
Yeah.
know that they'll take that away. It's just been announced like that. And they've announced like a few headphones like that. But I don't know. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that's essentially
Yeah.
so that's like the game.
I think it will get some, users because it looks really nice. It's just the the design looks very slim, at least the screen and then like the controllers.
I might buy
You might buy. I
it.
mean, I think for me, like I mentioned to you, like if you want to use remote, like if you're in the same household, you can actually do it on your laptop or
Yeah,
on your
yeah,
phone if you want as well.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
So
definitely.
because it's just like I mean you just connect your laptop to the controller and then you take it to somewhere else and you play. You probably can do it. But if you want to have the same experiences of like the PSP or like the PS Vita, and then it's a different thing that you need to kind of figure out uh with the controller.
Yeah.
Um, your camera went. Yeah,
Yep.
but
Let me just
we'll
see.
I'll
Let's see.
continue going on this. But what I mentioned in the beginning, actually, about the cloud gaming was like they released an article on October 11th saying PS5 cloud streaming launches this month for PlayStation Plus Premium members. Uh,
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
But they already
So,
had cloud streaming, right?
yeah, exactly, exactly. But maybe they're releasing new games. So, top PS5 hits from PlayStation Plus game category: Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Forbidden West, Ghost of Tsushima, Mortal Kombat 11, and Saints Row 4. Uh,
Oh,
so you don't have to download these games. You
mm-hmm.
can stream them basically. But you usually need to have a PlayStation
Plus
to
account.
yeah, PlayStation Plus and a PlayStation to stream these games and play.
Do you need a
You,
PlayStation? Oh, yeah, probably, right? Yeah.
yeah, you need a PlayStation
Yeah.
to stream. Yeah. It's like you don't need the PlayStation. The only advantage is you don't need to have storage for the game
Mm, mm, mm.
on your PlayStation. Yeah, and the new PlayStation, they have a 1 TB hard like the storage instead of
Yes. Yes, the 825. Yes, yes,
875
yes. We forgot
25
that.
25.
We forgot that. Sorry. Sorry. But
Yeah, I mean that's like 2 3 more games maybe. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not the person to have a lot of games installed on my PlayStation. I try
Mm,
to
mm,
play one, end it, and then delete it, and then put some more. I have like 5 6 games
mm,
right now installed
mm.
probably.
Right.
Yeah, and then this sort of cloud gaming thing, they're telling it will release in Europe in October 23rd. So probably we'll get these new games as cloud playable.
Oh, right.
The other cloud playable games are only the what do you call the older games. As I
Yeah.
understand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the or every
PlayStation
game
3
that's
is
PS
PlayStation. Yeah,
FD
PlayStation 3
three
ones. 2,
three
1,
two
1,
one.
1,
Yeah,
2. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, on to
And
three.
even some
Those
PSP games, I think.
yeah. So you can play them through cloud, right? You don't download it to your
No, no, no,
PlayStation. No, yeah,
no.
okay, okay. And yeah, just connected to that, I was looking for some old games that I played and surprisingly, have you played Metal Slug?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
So you can
Yeah.
download Metal Slug on PlayStation, like PS5 to play if you want. Like they have like this sort of it's like emulated kind of version with all the PlayStation, all the Metal Slug games, so one to like a recent version.
Right. Oh, okay, I think my camera went again. I'm not sure what the issue is.
No worries.
So,
We can maybe talk about a couple more topics while we're here. Not a couple, maybe one more topic since we're running out of the time. Yeah, we can maybe talk about what Google has been doing, like, or is it a bigger topic to for another day? No, I think we can just mention it and maybe we can talk about
mm,
it if we need more time on another day. So, Google actually is the default search engine on Apple devices, like
mm.
especially iPhones, and it's been the same for a long number of years. And it seems that they are paying, according to certain news articles, they're paying 18 to 20 billion per year to keep that going as in as the search
Wow.
engine. Yeah, this news came out because Apple was discussing about DuckDuckGo as
Mm,
the default search engine in terms of privacy. But then they just did a media release kind of. We are considering DuckDuckGo, but DuckDuckGo isn't still the most private
Mm.
search engine. And they said, okay, so we will not go ahead with that because it's not the it still has its issues. But then what they have is Google compared to DuckDuckGo. It's like
Will
a privacy nightmare.
Apple try to create their own search engine?
Uh, I don't
They will not
expect.
create it. They will not
No.
create it. Companies don't create anything anymore. They will just
Yeah.
wait till someone creates it and they'll acquire it, right? So that's how it
Yeah,
works.
exactly. So what we can expect Apple to do is buy ChatGPT for an example. I mean,
I don't think you can buy ChatGPT. Microsoft has like a stranglehold on it, and they are sort of
okay. They're
uh
doing it something with Bing, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I forgot. I forgot.
So, and
Yeah.
that's actually one reason I'm using on at least on my office laptop, I'm using Edge. So
Yeah. I'm also using Edge. It's the default. I think
default thing and
companies
it
are doing it.
works.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
Office
you can sort of have a chat
365.
window
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
Mm. So this one, we don't know what's gonna turn out with the search engine. But it's probably gonna stay Google. They're paying a lot to Apple to keep it like that, and I don't think that DuckDuckGo has the user base or the money to do something different here. But it's good that the sort of search engine is getting more attention, DuckDuckGo, than I'd say a couple of years ago. A
Yeah.
lot of more people are hearing about it. A lot of more people are using. Like, yeah, I haven't used Google. I only used Google like yesterday after I set up this new media server or whatever I told you. It's a
Yeah.
new OS, and I didn't have a chance to change the search engine. But it feels weird using Google because the search result for me now feels way off than what I'm used to on
Oh.
DuckDuckGo. Yeah. But so it's usually the case if you shift search engines, the search results are a bit messy in the beginning, and it kind of gets tuned to your type of results after some time. But
Oh.
without ads on DuckDuckGo. So
Hmm, nice.
yeah, we have a few more topics we can talk about, but
Yeah.
I think we are running out of
We
time
are
for today.
running out
Yeah.
of time today. Yeah.
So we will close, I guess, with this. We spend most of the time talking about gaming industry this time, so it was a fresh take. We don't usually talk about gaming that much in
Yeah,
our
we
episodes.
never get to talk about games sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's been a while. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's it for today. Then thank you very much for listening, watching us. If you have any questions, comments, please leave it down in the comment section, and we will get back to you about it. And so yeah, thank you
See
very
you all
much.
next week.
See you next week.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Yeah.